Annabella, daytime work as a maid in a maid cafe, nighttime fighting crime. What can I say about her? Well, she worked great as a self-healer and a main DPS. She has self-heal, iframe, and overall really great view of Pansu. Design also shows a little bit of her cleavage, and I think that's really a pretty great fan service right there. And aside that, she also has a 3-star skin that very looks a lot similar to Kurumi, and I think Kurumi fans are gonna really love this. I can think of 2 people pulling for her. One is the Sidon fan, one is the Kurumi fan. She also has a swimsuit that only costs $20 or $25, but regardless, I know people are still going to complain that it looks ugly. Why can't it be as great as Link? The problem is there's a big price difference, and I actually like it compared to other people, and it also actually changes her weapon from red, from the 3-star to actually the pink version. And if you're a girl, maybe you will like it, or maybe if you like pink. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Zackie, and I know a lot of you are requesting for Ice Queen Saki breakdown of the CN versions, but since Annabella is on trial and I can actually study her a little bit in her 6-star, I thought I'd do her first and then followed by Saki 4 in the next video. Let's get down to a little bit of a lore first, shall we, because some people find lore is very interesting. Annabella fighting crime in Miroria, it seems to be a myth, or rather a, I don't know, an urban legend, that's what they say. And she was nicknamed the Scarlet Vampire Maid who protects the city pretty much like Batman. In daytime, she is pretty much a maid cafe girl selling cakes and being a waitress, but nighttime she fights crime. So her master, aka someone, has been talking her through her headset over here and has been giving her quite a lot of news about her crime fighting news and stuff like that. Annabella was also said to be really good at shooting games in the shooting game VR in one of the PV, so yeah, I think she's pretty cool. Her weapon is a sniper-like weapon called Cross Sniper by Google Translate and the Index team as well. It falls under the fire element, and follow the DPS resonance. The weapon has a shatter rate of 12.0 rate, but in my opinion it's decent, and she has a charge rate of 9.0. But she's actually a charger. So compared to Ruby, I honestly think Ruby does the shatter way better, so they go together. You got a decent shatter and then a total shatter team. Annabella has 2 passive skills, so one of them you already expected is called the Flame Reaction. Very similar to Tianlang and give the same percentage as Flame Resonance in the CN version. Keep in mind, Reaction and Resonance does not stack even though they provide the same value. Then why is it called differently then? Well, maybe in the future, 2 of these will play differently in certain characters' buff. Pretty similar to how Ling buffed the Warp Resonance when she had her Mirror Realm instead of Warp Reaction. Her second passive is known as Peace of Mind. Using her skill, Discharge, Charge, or Dodge attack increases her final crit rate by 5% for 15 seconds. This, however, stacks up 3 times, meaning you'll gain 15% critical rate from her. If your crit rate with your equipment and overall every build exceed 100%, the remaining crit rate will be converted to crit damage, but of course that value is half, divided by 50. Aside from the reaction, she already offers quite a good crit rate buff at 0-star, so we have a lot of reason to pull for her, especially knowing that Cobalt B offers nothing until she's 3-star. Let's talk about her combat abilities. Her basic attack is a 3-hit combo, not pretty ideal as it's a slim bullet passing through. This is easily dodged by most mobs, and I don't really recommend you to use it. Her charge attack is a scope shot. Charging all the way to 3 bar will deal 400.8% damage. If you headshot, it will do a double damage, but the double damage, however, does not work on PvP, or to put it simply, it does not work on players. If you hit a burning target or deal a crit with the scope shot, you'll gain 300 weapon charge. This has a cooldown of 15 seconds, and how much do we need? We need 1000 to do a discharge, so 300 with a crit within 15 seconds. It's actually very easy to trigger. Again, providing another reason to pull her at 0-star. After shooting a scope shot, she has a little fast anime running effect right here. She's doing that anime flare. I'm not sure she has the same speed of Huma, but yeah, it's pretty fast for a moment. So you know that the charge attack is the scope shot. There's actually another way to trigger her scope shot is to do a dodge attack followed by a basic attack. This combo is considered one scope shot. Remember this because it's going to be very important coming down the line. Her aerial attack is pretty much like her basic attack. Don't do it. Her dodge attack is how you actually play with Annabella. It's called the Twilight Art by the Index team, and I really like that name. It's very catchy. So when you do a dodge attack, you actually throwing grenades towards your target, dealing only 37% damage. But that brings me to my next point, which is gonna be her skill. So this is going to get a little bit complicated, so I hope you're still following me. Her skill is called the Backup Magazine. Every time you activate her skill, it will start flicking between two modes. There's gonna be two magazine modes. In order to choose this mode, you need to time the flick. Each mode gives you 8 magazine, meaning 8 bullets. Mode number 1 is the Fireball magazine. If you pick this mode, you will have a red bullet on top of you going around 360. This gives scope shot AoE damage, I mean some sort of like an explosion, and if it's charged all the way with the scope shot, it deals 410% damage. Target hit by this magazine will be applied a debuff or a burn debuff called the cross burn, dealing 120% fire damage over time for 13 seconds. So if it's past 13 seconds, you do a total damage of 1560% fire damage. If a target is already burned, it will increase burn damage by another 20% for 20 seconds. Considering that you're gonna be spamming these 8 bullets, it's actually very easy to get that extra 20%, so you're actually at 150% already. Aside from that, your dodge attack now throws 3 grenades. Your Twilight Art, remember that we're talking about? Instead of throwing 1, you're throwing 3 now, dealing a total of 111% fire damage. You're gonna be doing this combo like the scope shot and the dodge attack, the scope shot, dodge attack. That's gonna do quite a lot of damage, honestly. So to put it simple, at 0 star, she has AoE burn debuff. As for Cobalt B, you really need her to be 3 star to trigger that Ionic burn, so it's pretty outrageous in my opinion. So if you want to play fire, go for Annabella. Mode number 2 is the Smoke Bomb magazine. If you choose this mode, it's gonna appear a gray light bullet that goes 360, and your scope shot fire gases on the target surrounding. So if you perform a dodge attack followed by scope shot, it will deal 80.9%. But if you charge all the way up to max, it's gonna summon the smoke, but you still have to throw the grenade, dealing a total of 560% damage. And once it detonates, when it explodes, the target will have 10% reduction in fire damage. Now, it was never mentioned in the index page, but every time I trigger a crit with the smoke bomb mode, it actually heals me. It doesn't matter whether it's smoke bomb or the bomb mode or the smoke mode you're choosing. For every 2 dab dodges you choose in between any of these modes, Annabella will recover 1 dodge. So if I dodge 2 times with a mode, it will recover 1 dodge. This can only happen up to 4 times every time you pick a mode. My bad. Her discharge deal a total of 890% fire damage, has an iframe of 2.6 seconds, but according to the index team, the iframe does not work in PvP. A Simulacra thread, her bond at level 1 every time a gas detonates on at least one enemy. It will increases the cross sniper damage by 10% for 20 seconds. It stacks up to 2 times, so it means 20%. At level 2, it increases from 18% each stack to 36 total. So yeah, if you're gonna use her as a main DPS, I think it's a wonderful idea. It packs a lot of damage and I really like it. Now that we're clear what she basically offers at 0 star, let's talk about her star ascension. At 1 star, if you scope shot a target 2 times, it will create an optical space that lasts for 12 seconds. Monster inside will be burned, and if they leave the optical space, their movement will be slowed by 80% for 5 seconds. This optical space can be created again after a 12 seconds cooldown. Aside from that, your scope shot will also slow the target by 80% for 1.5 seconds, so meaning that their scope shot is meaning that you slow them for 1.5 seconds after the scope shot, and then the optical space is gonna be there. If you try to leave the optical space to get close to you in PvP, they will be slowed again by 5 seconds. This is indeed very powerful in PvP. Honestly, she just makes Nemesis slow looks like a joke. But in my opinion, is this gonna be a meta? Is this slow gonna be a meta? I still beat quite a lot of Annabella with just the Ice team. So In between ice, volt, and fire is more of a like a decision making now rather than a which is meta and which is not. At 3-star, every time you crit with a scope shot, you recover 50% damage dealt as HP and also gain 50 weapon charge. Now this allows you to charge up a lot more faster with the scope shot, and also makes you a lot more tankier since you can heal yourself. And you also get a passive buff known as Peace of Mind, which increases your crit rate each stack by 9%, can be stacked 3 times, meaning 27% crit rate. And again, if you surpass 100%, most of these are gonna convert it to your crit damage. So wow, I would recommend 3-star, but as F2P, just 1-star will do, I guess. At 5-star, her bow mod burns increase another 30%, so basically you have like a 150% increase another 180%, and if you burn up to 13 seconds, that's a total of 2340% burn damage. Like, that is way more than a discharge if 13 seconds does pass. And it also buffs her smoke mode, meaning that at 0-star you get 10%, and it's gonna add another 30%. And this is gonna help with your burn, and really 5-star is amazing. Her 6-star isn't really that worth. It only increases her scope shot by 20%, so it's pretty not recommended even for small spender. So I recommend getting her at 0-star if you're an F2P, but if you do want to get 1-star, I don't think the slow is gonna come in very effective in PvE, and in PvP you don't even need that. So I think that's actually pretty great unless we're talking about the 8 versus 8. And 3-star if you're a small spender for the extra crit and crit damage conversion, as well as being extra tanky. So she already has a lot to offer at 0-star compared to Cobalt B. So if you want to main fire, like I said again, Annabella is the better choice. Annabella, Ruby, Ling. So her ideal team would be Ruby as Shatter, since Annabella would be a decent DP, decent Shatter, also your main DPS, and also Charger. She's great, and if you can't charge, then just use Ling, because that charge actually has cooldown, right? So just use Ling. Still works, and also increase your burn duration by I think a few seconds. Kuma if you don't have Ruby, if you're a F2P, Freak for the hyper armor if you need it. Cobalt B 3-star, I wonder if the Ionic burn actually stack. If it does stack, maybe you're gonna have more debuff for the enemy, but yeah, Cobalt B is just not really worth it in my opinion. So for matrices wise, considering she's a dodge attacker, you're gonna be using that and then followed by a scope shot a lot. Kuma was great, I have tried it, pretty much similar to Freak. You're gonna trigger a 6 explosion rather than 3 explosion. Crow is way better than Samir, consider Anna above your crit rate, and the remaining crit rate will also go to your crit damage. So you're gonna do a lot of crit damage with her, so Crow is definitely good. Annabella 4-piece is definitely great. Ruby 2-piece is gonna be great on your sub DPS or your Shatter, because it's gonna run in the background and it's gonna give you that extra flame attack every time you choose a skill magazine. So I think Annabella is a wonderful fire team if you want to main fire. She works great at 0-star, offers quite a lot, making Cobalt B irrelevant. So what do you think about her? Leave it down in the comment section below. I honestly think that she actually made me love the fire team way more than I actually did, and she's actually very fun to play with. So yeah, comment down in the comment section below what you think about it, and I'm gonna be covering Ice Queen Saki Fuwa next, or Fuwa Fuwari, or whatever you want to call it. My name is Zackie, and A is just a gaming channel.